Hey everyone, I'm Leaf and welcome to my YouTube channel. And before anyone says anything, yes, I'm still sick. I thought I'd be better by now, but I'm not. But that's a good thing because in today's video, I will be drawing some of my Plague Doctor characters, which is something I really need right now. Too bad doctors aren't real and being sick doesn't pay the bills. So without further ado, let's get drawing. Okay, the first character I will be drawing is Inzo. He has been on my channel once before in the trading card video from a while back, but other than that drawing, I haven't really drawn him very much. That's kind of how it is with these Plague Doctor characters. I love them a lot, but they really take a backseat to some of my more fleshed out characters, but in today's video, we're changing that. I really want to nail down designs for my Plague Doctor characters, as well as think about their lore just a little bit more. And since I already redesigned Inzo a little bit in that trading card video, I thought it'd be easiest to start with him because he needs the least amount of work. For the little bit of backstory I have for Inzo, he is a mechanic who Bonnie finds after she breaks down in the middle of the desert and she needs help repairing her boat. And she finds Inzo to help her. Inzo is based loosely off of a woodpecker and a cowboy because I don't have any cowboy characters, so I need one, and Inzo fills that role perfectly. For all of my Plague Doctors, I like to make them based off of a bird. So, like I said, Inzo's is a woodpecker. Bonnie, who I will be designing later in this video, is based off of a crow. And the third member of their squad, Oro, is based off of a duck. Having a bird picked out for each one of them helps lead their design and makes them stand out a little bit instead of just being a generic Plague Doctor. And it helps me be able to make more Plague Doctor characters because I already have a base to work off of, if that makes sense. But the trickiest part of designing Inzo this go around was I've actually never drawn his face before, because there being a massive plague going around the earth means that they're in their masks almost 24/7. So I've never really had to design their faces before, but I wanted that to change this year because I find it a lot easier to connect to characters if you're able to know what they look like see their face, and also it gives people an option to draw them with their faces if they want to, including me. It gives me an option to draw their faces if I want to. But I want that option there for people because I am making these rough sheets mostly for Art Fight. If it weren't for Art Fight, I don't think I'd have a reference sheet of a single one of my characters. Art Fight just pushes me to do that because I want to make sure people can grasp their full design and be able to draw them without having any issues. Anyway, to talk about his hair a little bit, I decided to go for a mullet with shaved side. I don't know why, that just gives really strong cowboy vibes to me, and I think it looks really cool, and I don't have a character who has this hairstyle. I was trying to decide between 3 different color and texture options, but I went with the middle one where he has a little bit of red in his hair because his mask has a lot of red in it, but once that mask is removed, it removes a lot of the red in his design, so having it in his hair keeps a nice balance between the red on his mask and red when he doesn't have his mask on. Ooh boy, we're only 4 minutes into the video and I can already feel my throat dying. By the end of the video, I'm gonna sound like I smoked 30 packs of cigarettes before I started voiceovering. I hope it's not too distracting for you guys. But anyway, now we're on to drawing his body. And after I lined just a couple parts of his clothing, I actually forgot to record the entire coloring and shading process for him, which, guys, I'm starting to go into bad habits. If you watched last week's video, you know I also forgot to record half my drawing process. Hopefully next time I remember and I don't lose any of my footage, but I blame my friend. For both of these drawings, almost 100% of my drawing process, I was on a call talking to my friend. So I fully blame her for forgetting to hit the record button. If you're watching this, you know who you are, and this is all your fault. But for the actual drawing process for the clothes, I made sure to draw everything on separate layers because since Inzo has a massive poncho and his mask is pretty big, I wanted to have one reference of him with his underlayers on, so just without the poncho and the mask, and one reference for with the poncho and with the mask, so that his outfit was a little bit more clear. For the bottom layers of his outfit, like his leather armor, I guess, and his shirt and pants, I wanted to keep them very toned down, so I used blacks and browns. This helped to make his poncho stand out more, along with his cowboy boots and of course his plague doctor mask, because those parts of his design are the most important, and I wanted to make sure they had a very clear focus. And his underlayers aren't very important, and you're not going to see them very much in the story, so I wanted them to be a little bit boring, but I didn't want it to be too boring. So for the armor, I gave it a two-toned palette where like his shoulder pieces, his knee pieces, and his elbow pieces were a lighter brown, instead of just all of the pieces being the same dark brown. The lighter brown just helps cut up those big sections of color and makes the layers a little bit more interesting to look at, but still toned down so that the other parts of his design could shine more. I wanted to keep the rendering very simple on these drawings because I didn't want any rendering to get in the way when people were trying to reference my character. I left a lot of the areas pretty clear and unshaded so that people could easily color pick from his design. There's not really a need to put your colors off to the side if your design is pretty clear what the colors are already, and doing it this way just makes my rough sheets look a lot more clean. But I like to shade them instead of just doing their flat colors, because shading can really help show the 3D form of parts of his design as well as material and stuff like that. So I recommend for your ref sheets this year to have just a nice, clean, simply shaded image of your character. But if you want to do a really complicated rendering piece to help sell your character a little bit more to other people, just add it in as a separate image. But on your main ref sheet, try to keep it simple. I just want to tell you guys that because I've been scrolling on Artfight recently. I'm sure a lot of you have as well, and I can see some absolutely beautiful characters, but their pose is like twisted in a way that half their body is hidden, or they're shaded so complexly I can't even tell what the colors are supposed to be. So please, for the sake of everyone involved this year, at least have one simply shaded drawing of your character. I just felt the need to say that because I've seen some very beautiful characters with absolutely atrocious reference images. But with that little Artfight rant over, here is Inzo's finished design. I really like how he came out, and it is exactly what I pictured for him in my head, and I'm so glad my boy now has an actual face and not just a mask. I can draw him with his real face now if I want. I'll probably still draw him with his mask most of the time, but you can also see here the style I'm going for with my reference sheets this year. It's a lot different from what I've done in the past, but I just think it looks really clean and professional. And some of my ref sheets in the past were the atrocious reference images I was just complaining about, so I wanted to have a really clear reference sheet, and I even have a couple notes on there to explain my design a little bit more for people who don't happen to watch my videos. But let's move on to our second character. And for our second character, we will be drawing Bonnie, who is the main character of my Plague Doctor series. Bonnie is a doctor who has found the cure for the plague that is going around the earth. And so the story follows her journeys trying to spread her cure and heal everyone of the plague. But along the way, she runs into quite a few obstacles and realizes maybe this plague isn't as natural as she first thought. Or at least I think that's what's gonna happen, because like most of my stories, the Plague Doctor series exists only in my head without a single word on any piece of paper. So their story is kind of subject to change, but I think the characters are gonna stay relatively the same. Going into this drawing, I didn't think I was gonna redesign Bonnie at all, but the more I looked at her old design, which is the concept on the left, the more I was just kind of annoyed with it. Like, Bonnie's a doctor. Why did I give her armor? it's not like she's gonna be fighting anyone. I didn't want the plague to be like those plagues in games where it causes the patients to be violent and most of the people you fight are just people with a disease. Like, the first thing that comes to my mind is Hollow Knight. So there wasn't really a point to her having armor. And also, Bonnie is supposed to look the most like a generic plague doctor, so I felt the silver was very out of place. So the first thing I did in my second concept was get rid of the armor. And just like Inzo, I had never drawn Bonnie's face before, so I had to do a couple hair concepts. And I'm just gonna give a quick warning right now. The face I draw for these hair concepts does not look close to her actual face at all, and I was really struggling with this face for some reason. I love how her actual face turned out, but not so much the faces here. They kept looking like a guy that I know in real life, and that was really taking me off, so just kind of ignore it. But for her hair, I did lose a film of her hair process, but I knew I wanted Bonnie to have darker skin, and I love the idea of like a half up, half down hairstyle for her because I want her to be a doctor, so I figured she needs a pretty clean hairstyle, but I wanted it to be short as well so that it could easily fit in under her mask. So far, all of my plague doctors have short hair, so it's easy to shove under their mask, but I need to design one with long hair so I could try and figure out how that would work, because I don't just want their hair to like come out of the bottom of their masks. I feel like that would look really stupid, but I'm not sure what I would do, so I kind of need to think of that. Anyway, what I was trying to say is I ended up with this short half up, half down hairstyle with the usual couple pieces out in front. I felt like this hairstyle was both cute and practical. It's also similar to the one I gave her on my Tamagotchi Life island. I did design these two characters' faces in Tamagotchi Life before I actually ever drew them, which I think is kind of hilarious. And also, these two guys are married and have a child on Tamagotchi Life. Their child is not canon, by the way, but her name is Hannah and she's really cute. When she was first born, I am not kidding, her face was literally just Inzo's. Like, there was not a single trait from Bonnie anywhere. So I went back through and touched it up a little bit to make her look not literally just exactly like Inzo. But anyway, that is not relevant at all to what we're drawing. I just felt the need to share that. And while we're a little bit off topic, it is that time in the video, every single video, where I hide a little secret message to see who's actually paying attention. And for this video, the emoji I would like you to use is any bird emoji. Just throw any bird emoji in the comment so that way I know you're a real one. Maybe even pick your favorite bird or the bird you think you would be if you were a plague doctor. I have no clue how many bird emojis there are, but maybe you can just tell me what bird you would like to be if you were a plague doctor in my plague doctor universe. And while you're down typing your comment away, just feel free to like the video, and I mean the subscribe button's right there too, but only do it if you want to. Of course, you are not obligated to do any of those for me, but I just want to say thank you for sticking around so far in the video, and let's get back to the drawing. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that Bonnie had a boat that broke down, and that was why she met Inzo, but they don't travel on the water, they travel through sand. So the boats are flying boats, and that is why Bonnie has an oar. That's how she controls her little boat, is with her oar that she is holding in her drawing. But this oar isn't just for controlling her boat. It has a secret storage compartment where she hides all of her vaccines for the plague. I really wanted to draw it open for this ref sheet, but not gonna lie, I totally forgot about it, so that is not on this ref sheet. So I'm just gonna tell you guys. The front of her oar opens up, and that's where she hides all of her vaccine. The little vials I put on her belt are not supposed to be the secret vaccines. Those are just like general health tonics. Maybe like the lore is they found a cure for almost every other disease, so that's what those health vials are for. But now there's a new plague that they don't have a cure for, and that's why Bonnie is on her mission to spread her cure. But she has to keep them hidden because, like I said, other people are either trying to stop her from curing the plague, or, I mean, imagine you find like the cure for a disease that like people have been trying to cure forever and no one can find a cure, and now you have it. Like, people are going to try and steal that from you to make a bunch of money. So I imagine she has to keep it hidden so that no one tries to steal it and destroy it or whatever, you know. I drew both Bonnie and Inzo in this video, and I was going to draw Oro too, but unfortunately I just ran out of time, so maybe you'll see her make an appearance in a future video. I love Oro so much. She is, I think, my favorite of the 3 plague doctors, so I'm just really bummed I couldn't show you guys to her, but I think I'm going to do more videos like this, just making rough sheets and explaining my characters a little bit more, because I have got to get my rough sheets done for Art Fight, and it's really hard for me to find time to work on drawings that aren't for a video. So my solution is just to make all of my drawings into a video, so probably be doing more rough sheets in the future. Oh, also, I totally forgot to draw Bonnie's bag. I was gonna do it. It was supposed to be included from the start, but I just completely forgot about it till the end of the drawing. So that's what I'm adding right now. I was thinking of making the bag black to match the rest of her design, but I think the brown adds a nice breakup of all of the black in her design, and I put this little orange cloth on it to match her scarf, to bring some of that orange a little bit lower in her design since it's pretty concentrated at the top. But with that, here is Bonnie's finished design. I think she turned out looking so cool, and I'm way happier with her design this year than her design I had for her last year. With both of these plague doctors, there was so much more I could talk about for each one, but I only have a very limited time in these videos to talk about them. But if you would like to draw either one of these plague doctors, feel free, tag me. I love seeing art of my characters. And of course, these will both be on Art Fight, so make sure to bookmark them if you want to attack them. But I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and unfortunately I will not have a video up next week because I will be in California. My upload schedule will be pretty sparse, at least for June. I have another trip I'm going on as well, and I think I won't be able to post for 2 weeks for that trip. Very unfortunate. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at remembering my schedule. I might not be able to post in the first week of July either, but I'm thinking about streaming my Art Fight drawings, so look out for that in July. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time, whenever that may be. Bye bye.